Okay, in today's video we're going to be covering my top 25 favorite moves in Xenoverse 2. Now these are just the supers. Along to go with that, we have 5 honorable mentions that, while either good or strong or for some other reason, just didn't make my list. But they're still pretty good. Coming up as our first honorable mention is Revenge Final Flash. Now this move has a ton of reasons to not make the list and only be an honorable mention, despite looking so cool. For one, it just has too many damage variables. It does more damage the lower your health is, the longer you put key into it, and the closer you are. Now with all that being said, until you're actually at low health, this move will do less damage than a Gallic gun, fully charged, and it doesn't ever land online. Next up we have Split Finger Shot. Now this move doesn't do the most damage. It looks pretty cool, but outside of that, it didn't make the list for one simple reason. The only reason you're going to use this is for its stun and the fact that it has amazing tracking. Now, it gets kind of annoying to do this in the training mode because it's always wanting to turn me around when firing the super, while online that usually won't happen, but even then, as you can see, the move still tracks. Our next honorable mention is Eraser Bomb. Now, I really wanted to like this move. I really did. But you need to transform in order for it to do damage, like decent damage. And then once you do transform, its tracking, it becomes kind of abysmal. It'll do 5,000 damage, but I mean, it still does less damage than the charged Gallic gun. So there's not really much to say with that. It's a really cool move. It just really isn't worth it. You can't combo with it or really anything. Okay, next up we have Atomic Blast. Now this is a really cool move. I wish this one was better, but it has so many different variations on how you can do damage with it. It does more damage when you fire it off the floor. It has 3 different inputs, with only one of them actually doing decent damage. And you can only use it in long knockaway combos, or during the stamina break, and there are just better things to do. This move is all swagger, no substance. But with that being said, it's still one of the coolest moves we got on this list. And just to show that this move will land, here is one of the combos that you can land on with a female Saiyan. No stamina break required. Okay, next up we have Handy Cannon. I don't really need to go in depth with this move, it's just stupid broken. I never use this move because of how broken it is. Now, if you put it on one of your presets to fight someone that's either really laggy or is using broken shit, that's totally understandable. This move just isn't for me. It's like Death Beam, Ki Blast Cannon, and Ki Blasts all rolled into one. It's too good. It's too good of a move. Okay, starting off our list, we got Super Explosive Wave. Now this move is nuts. It's not only a beam move that fires so fast that you can combo with itself, or use at the end of another combo, but as you just saw, you can also use it to just do backflip, which is one of the most broken supers in this game. Now, I don't really use it for that, I just use it for the beam, and as you can see right here, it combos with itself, and it can combo with a ton of other things in this game too. One of the most notable being that you can actually combo it, not only from knockdowns and knockbacks, but off of some of your evasives, like Super Explosive Wave. So you can go Super Explosive Wave, the evasive, into Super Explosive Wave, the super. Now, a good thing to note is that this move will miss the second shot if you do it off of things like you're too far away after the first shot, or it's at the wrong angle, or you do it off of a longer lasting super attack. Either way though, the move still does really decent damage, it's insanely good. Okay, for our next move, we have Death Psycho Bomb. Now this move is another, it just looks insanely cool. It's all swagger, no substance. It doesn't do a lot of damage. I have 200 on Ki as a female Saiyan, and it didn't even do 4K. But it's a grab, it'll go through someone if they're blocking. You can use it off of your knockaways. Sadly not knockdowns, as you'll see here in a minute, or if they hit a wall, as you can see, it can sometimes drop. But as you can see right here, it kind of works like Blast Strike, where it just loses tracking on knockdowns. So and no matter what map you do it on, it will not work off of a knockdown. But knockaways, it'll work just fine. It can also go through some iframe moves, like if you use it against Jiren, when he does that stupid punch attack thing, it'll grab him. But in short, it's a disrespect. Okay, next up we have Rough Ranger. Now this has two different inputs. One is if you get hit by a Ki Blast, another one if you get hit by a basic attack or a strike super. Now as you can see, it has a long lasting recovery. If you use the move and you don't get the timing off, you're going to be stuck like that for a while. In fact, it can last so long, your opponents can even stamina break you. And I honestly feel like this is how every counter move should work in the game. Moves like Super Shot, God Flash are just too broken. But it's rewarding if you can get it off. It looks so cool. I absolutely love this move. I use it on my green build, and I'm just telling you now, it's one of the cooler moves in the game. It looks so cool, highly disrespectful, and it's not broken in any way. Now, I will say that the Ki Blast shield that it puts up will protect you from pretty much any super in the game, or Ki Blast, I mean. So, even if it's against an ult, the shield will go up. So, it is a rewarding move to use even when you have your stamina broken. Now, again, I am on a Ki Blaster, so the strike isn't doing too much damage. Okay, for our next move, we have Wild Buster. Now, this is one of the very few key moves that work kind of like a strike super. Now, as you see, just the first initial hit doesn't really do too much damage, but if you follow up with a second input, you can make it do 7k, or, about 6k, which isn't really too impressive, but here's the thing about Wild Buster is that you can use it from a knockback or knockdown, and it will always connect. And another interesting thing, too, you can do is if you just use the first input, you can follow it up with combos or a different kind of super attack. Now, most of the time, the supers won't work, so you'll have to follow it up with a combo into a knockback to do another super. But it's just a really good move. The second input is generally, well, it kind of sucks. It doesn't do the most damage, and overall, it's just not really that good since it has a lot of end lag to it, so you cannot move and you can get heavily punished for it. But, with that being said, it does still have some purpose. Like, you can use it when your opponent only has 2 bars of stamina left and force them to use it, or just when you know it'll kill them. Now, Punisher Drive nearly made the only honorable mention list. Generally speaking, it's terrible as tracking, and when the move first came out, well, it was actually in the base game, it was up there as one of the top 10 best moves in the game. Then they updated it along with back hits, so it's just only gotten worse as time's gone on. And it even has this bug now. Originally when you use the move, you're actually supposed to turn invisible and just be Stardust, but as you can see, my character is still very much visible and just has a sparkling outline to them. I believe it still works normally on Gogeta, but for every other character, like your cast characters, it just doesn't work right. That being said, it's still real cool, and just it's really hard to hate anything Gogeta comes up with. And again, it still technically does work. Now for our next move, coming in at number 20 is Savory Slicer. Now this is a move that you either love it or hate it. With no additional inputs, as you saw earlier, you can fling yourself at your opponent, and it does pretty decent damage. On most knockbacks, the move will work, sometimes even on knockdowns, but the inputs can be really, really weird. If you do it on a knockdown, usually the only part of it that will hit is the very end of the spinning cycle, but most of the time on a knockback, the move will work. Now there is a few exceptions. Sometimes the move just will not move at all, and you'll just spin in place. So usually Savory Slicer is best used if you're just gonna fire the move and not do it in any combo whatsoever, or only on knockbacks, and even then it can drop on the knockback. And if the move just worked a little bit better on those knockbacks, it would be higher on this list, even with it being a strike skill and my character being a Ki Blaster. Next up, we have Burning Slash. Now, there is very little to hate with this move. I mean, it's good, it has a second input that costs no extra additional ki, as you can see right there. It does really good damage. You can use it in your combos, you can use it off knockbacks, just not knockdowns, and depending on the knockback, you can't be too delayed in your input or it just won't work. As you see there, it doesn't work on knockdowns, but it will work off of a knockback. Just an insanely good move. If you use it against someone, you can also use it during a combo when they're blocking to force them either let go of their block, surprise them, or force out an evasion. The move is just really good, and even if you don't build for strike, it does pretty decent damage. I do believe that after doing the second input, it does about 4k damage, and keep in mind, I have a negative stat in strike, so for it doing 4k, I think that makes it the most damaging strike move on this list, except for one other move that you'll see a little bit further on. Along with that, it's not our only sword or weapon-based move on this list, so just keep your eyes open. For our next move coming in at number 18, we have Brave Sword Slash. Now this move is weird. As you can see right here, you can do the initial input and just let it hold it. This does make it do no additional extra damage. It's just, for some reason, you can make it last longer than intended, or you can immediately hit it again, causing it to immediately fire. Now again, if you just leave the move as is, it doesn't work off of knockdowns or knockbacks because it just takes way too long. However, if you do the second input, it only works on knockdowns, but works on knockbacks. It does decent damage, just a few shy of doing 3k. Again, letting the move hold for the entire time does not increase its damage whatsoever. But if you do the second input, it does go fast enough and fire off fast enough where you can actually use it off of an evasive. And there are very few moves in this game that do that. We have moves like Force Edge and Super Explosive Wave that work like that. But again, there aren't that many, and you can even, again, use it off of a dash. I tried to show you right there, but I didn't want to go off. And the move will connect. So it is a pretty good move, pretty crazy, and can fire really fast. You just have to do that second input. Okay, for our next move, we have Wild Stinger coming in at number 17. Now, this pretty much does what Wild Buster was supposed to do, but better in every possible way. It doesn't have a second input, and as you see after that initial kick lands, it just drags, and you can follow this up with pretty much any super. Now, there are a few exceptions to that, like if you fire Focus Blast, that probably won't connect, and you can actually make this move combo with itself, but it's completely dependent on your character's height. Female Saiyans are just a bit too short for it to be able to do that, but as you see right here, you can combo it with other moves. It does decent damage, doing a little shy of 3k. Again, still really good, and it's basically, if you're planning on doing a combo move list, this is something I would highly recommend to look at when making it. For our next move, we have Blades of Judgment coming in at number 16. Now, this is a move that's a little bit weird. As you can see here, it left a little bit of blades in the ground, but it will connect off of knockbacks or knockdowns in every variation. And as you see here, those blades will explode, and that can actually cause it to do more damage. This means this move's actually better if it misses a little, especially off of knockdowns, because those blades will then explode, causing the move to do more damage. And as you can see here, even a very fast knockdown will cause it to hit. Now, this move does have a few downsides, the first one being that it takes forever to fire, and it takes forever to end, meaning it's severely easy to be punished. Along with that being said, the move generates an egregious amount of stamina in your opponent because it does do a lot of hits, so there are better knockback blast moves. Now coming in at number 15 is Holy Inscription. I love this move. As you can see here, it has 3 inputs. If you just do 2, I believe that was 5,100 off of just 2, and if you do, oh sorry, it was 5,100 for all 3, and it was 21 for just doing 2. Now this move actually gets stronger the more you use it. After that, as you can see there at the end of that 3rd input, it did a bit of a wind blade. I'll show you guys further on that those wind blades can actually connect. You don't have to hit with the actual blade itself. If it hits with the wind blade, you will get pulled in kind of like a vacuum, and the move will continue. This move is insanely good when it is lagging and does great damage even if you are a Ki Blaster. Now, it is definitely meant more for strikers, though. As I just showed, this move will always work off of knockbacks, and most of the time on knockdowns. There are some cases off of a knockdown it'll lose tracking, and maybe only the third or second blade will hit. But outside of that, it looks cool. Definitely the most gorgeous strike move on this list. But really cool move, does a ton of damage, even if you don't build for strikes. And it can actually combo with a lot of other moves, like Battles's Meteor move. So you can even combo it off of other strikes too, like Eagle Kick. So just in general, a really good move. But it has to land in the middle, because again, despite it being so cool and doing decent damage, it costs about 3 bars to use, and there are just better moves. Coming in at number 14 is Gallic Beam Cannon. Now, before any of you ask, because you can see right there, it does 4,500, and it only has a second charge input, doing 6,914. This should be your baseline for any of your super attacks. If it does anywhere that's less than the first charge, the super is immediately not a good damaging move. And if it's about a little bit less or more than the fully charged, it's good. Now, the reason that you should see this as a baseline is that this move is just a reskin of Gallic Gun. They do the exact same amount of damage, have the exact same firing speeds, they work off of knockdowns, knockbacks. With that being said, occasionally if you are on a much bigger map or it's really laggy, this goes for all beam moves, it occasionally will miss. But as you can see, if it works as intended, that won't happen. I think right there you just got caught on the world tournament stage, but off of that knockdown, as you saw, the full move connected. And again, like just 10,000 damage is a full health bar. So move fires pretty fast, looks really cool, and if I had to pick a beam move, it would definitely be this one over Kamehameha or Gallic Gun. Now again, even though this move fires really fast, it's not like the Majin Kamehamehas or Burst Kamehameha, where it will connect off of Super Explosive Wave. This has the exact same firing speed as Gallic Gun, so it will not connect even if you hit them with an evasive. Coming in at number 13 is Flash Bomber. Now this move is both great and horrible. You can extend the duration of the move by holding it down, I believe for up to 3 to 4 bars of ki. And you can actually loop the move, so you can make it up to get to a Z rank combo, and that alone can just do a ton of damage. Or you can just hold down the move and let it stop and peter out, and at that point they're pushed too far away to continue any form of combos. But this move actually has a different form of utility. If you use it against guard, it shreds them. I mean, absolutely destroys guard. As you can see right here, I'm going to do a normal combo and go right into it. And not only is it doing a lot of piercing damage, but as you see right here, for about 3 bars of ki, it did about 3.5 bars of stamina damage. So you can break someone's guard if they decide to block it, and you have a ton of ki. So this move is just great for Ki Blaster builds. Okay, coming in at number 12 is Destructive Ray. Now this move is basically Ki Blast Cannon, but a little different. So it doesn't have as wide of an area effect, and it's more immediate in its firing. As you see, there's also less delay if you were to miss or hit them, and you can use it kind of as a cancel. It actually, a good move to compare it to would be either Death Beam or Crazy Finger Shot. Now, as you can see, it definitely doesn't fire as fast as Death Beam, but it works kind of like a cancel in that way, and you can use it to infinite. Now, with that being said, I think it's closer to Crazy Finger Shot, where it has just a bit of build time to that fire, but unlike Crazy Finger Shot, there's almost no delay after the move is being done fired. So you don't have to worry about getting punished. If your opponent evasives you after you fire it, or you just straight up miss with the move, you don't have to worry about getting punished. Now, the trade-off with this is that the move only does about 2k damage, maybe even a little less than that. So you have to have a lot of ki in order to loop it, or be transformed for it to do any sort of meaningful damage. Okay, coming at number 11 is Crimson Edge. Now this is very unique and cool looking. Some people might have this as their favorite strike move just because of how cool this move looks. Now with that being said, I'm going to take a little bit of time to fix the AI. Apparently I don't know the setting, but as you can see here, the move does about 3,628 damage. Again, my stats in strike are abysmal, so don't trust that. If you are a striker, you can get it to do a lot more damage. And as you can see, it works off of knockbacks and knockdowns. Now that being said, this move is actually weird. In lag, as you can see, even when you're playing offline, the move can suddenly stop if you do it off of a knockback, meaning it's not the most trustworthy move to use. I don't know how they messed up on the tracking of this move so terribly so, but I wouldn't trust it off of a knockback. Now, strangely enough, it'll never do this on a knockdown. You don't have to worry about you just standing there and completely whiffing the move. What I recommend doing is if you really want to have this move, you can cause it to spin, and I would recommend doing this mid-combo because this causes them to stagger, and the rest of the move will play out as it's normally supposed to do so, and you won't miss. Now, along with that, I should bring up that the spin is actually something that is noted in the super. It can block key blasts. It says weaker key blasts specifically, so you can't put the AI to do little key blasts at you. And this doesn't work against every super attack. I feel like that's something important to note, as I show you right here. Just because it is a key-based attack doesn't mean the scythe can block it. Okay, I messed up a little bit right here, but as you can see now I'm out of the way, I'll be able to... Yeah, okay, that's the timing. But as you see, the blade was still... the scythe was still cycling, and it didn't work. Okay, next we have Gorgeous Shot. Now, there is something I should note before we start hitting the AI with it. As you can see, it did that little plume of an explosion. That'll only work on maps that have a floor. And it doesn't matter how high the map is, that explosion will always occur. It's kind of why I kept doing it. Now, firing it off, as you can see, even for a super that's based in key, it doesn't do that much damage. What you're mainly going to want to use it for is combos. I don't know why my back hits kept whiffing when I was doing this, but this will work if you decide to go for a back hit. It has great tracking for knockdowns, so you don't have to worry about only using this as the utility I normally use it for. What I recommend using it for is predicting your opponent's vanishing, and then going for it for if they're really aggressive and you know that they'll attack. So you can cause them to not only vanish, but still get hit by the move. You don't have to worry about doing a back hit. This move can kind of supplement it. Something to note though is that the closer you get to the ceiling, the worse this move gets. But you can loop it, as you can see here, just kicking someone straight down is a combo in itself. And it'll always work because they're in a flying stun state. But if you keep just using this move and you get all the way to the ceiling, it will miss. Coming in at number 9 is Faint Shot. Now this move is kind of unique. As you can see, this is another move that doesn't really do a lot of damage despite me building as a key blaster. And that is because it is a stun. As you can see, you vanish twice, or you can hold the input and just stay in place after the first vanish. What you're typically going to use this for is, as you can see, they stagger pretty heavily so, and you can just start going in on any combo. What I prefer to use this for, this has a hidden kind of effect, or detail I should say. If you use it when your opponent is behind you, it'll always cause you to vanish either to the far side of them or behind them. It's a really, really great move, and you can use it right after they Z-vanish. Again, in training mode, it always tries to make you do a turning around animation, which kind of sucks, but it kind of works a little bit right here if you predict it in time. Again, I used it before he vanished right there, so it didn't really work, but as you saw right there, I vanished after he was fully behind me, and the move connected, and I was behind him. It's a really, really great move, and this move works in lag. The stun is a single hit, so you don't really have to worry about the move not working. Because it is a single hit, if it touches them, they will stagger. Because of that, it's pretty fantastic. Coming up at number 8 is Variant Drive. Now this is my favorite strike move in the game. Hands down, I've been using it since its release. As you can see, it has 2 dashes. Now these are technically separate hits. As you can see here, it did 3 right there, but what you really want to use this for is for combos, or what I prefer to do is you can use it to either catch someone or predict when they're going to do a Z-Vanish, because that second input will turn right around and it will hit them. I'm just going to switch the AI real quick just so we can show this. And as you can see right here, first hit misses, but it immediately turns around for that second hit, and it just has amazing tracking. And yes, you can follow this up if you want to combo them or chase them down afterwards. Now this move's bag of tricks don't end there. This actually has another input you can do. By doing whatever button you have it on, you know, your right trigger to activate the move, you can actually do, right there, a blast that goes through guard. Now something to note as you watch me fail to do it correctly for a few times is that it doesn't say this in the move description, but you want to, if you want to get the blast to work, you have to do it facing the opposite direction of wherever they're facing, kind of like you're performing a back hit, in order to perform the blast. There was a glitch going on for about half a year, so it kind of made me forget you could do this, or I mean 4 years, but they just fixed it like half a year ago, where the blast actually did 0 damage, but as you can see right here, it's doing about 3,000, and again, I have nothing in my strike, and actually have a negative stat due to my QQ bang, but again, just a great move. Coming in at number 7 is Endless Shoot. Now this move has a variety of damage inputs. This is due to the fact that you can hold down the button and use it more key to do more damage. Now with that being said, the move gets most of its damage from when it actually finishes, adding on an additional 2k. So if you want to surprise someone and they're near death and you just want the move to do an explosive amount of damage, just let it end and it'll work itself out. Now this move will work no matter how you do it. If you do it off of a knockback, a knockdown, if you do it off of a dash attack, it can eventually run out of range if you knock them away too far, or they are too far and hit them with the move, as it gradually pushes them away. Good thing to note though is that as you see right there, your character jumps back before firing. This is really important to note, especially for key blasters, because that little jump back just gives you just enough room that you dodge nearly every evasive in this game. You beat Super Explosive Wave, Dragon Burn, and Fake Blast with this move. So if you know your opponent is going to go ahead and just immediately go for the evasive, you can fire this move and predict it, and sure enough, the evasive will miss. It is an amazing utility move, and if you're willing to sacrifice a lot of ki to fire it, you can do more than an ult with it. It is just an insanely good move. Now with that being said though, it does an abysmal, like terrible amount of guard damage. Anyway, so this move's worth basically comes down to trial and error and user input. The better you are at using the move, the more worth you're going to get from it. Coming in at number 6 is Vanishing Ball. Now, this move was insane during the very first few years of Xenoverse, and then it suddenly dropped off. And that was because there was a glitch going on where it lost all tracking. So even if you had a lock on someone, the move would not follow them whatsoever, and would always miss. They fixed it like 4 or 5 years ago, and people just never went back to using it. Now, before it got broken, you could actually use this move and then follow it up with another Vanishing Ball with no stamina break required, and it would work. Both moves would connect back to back. It is no longer the case. That only works in extreme lag. Now, as you saw there though, Vanishing Ball does not connect off of knockdowns, only off of knockbacks. So if you use it on a knockdown, it will not connect. The person would have to fall back in the move for it to hit them. But you can actually combo this move with itself if your opponent's guard is broken. Now, I'm going to show it to you right here. Well, preferably not on the ground. Vanishing Ball is one of those moves that has a different animation for when it's on the ground that makes it last longer. But as you can see right here, just finding the move 3 times during a stamina break causes it to do way more than an ult. It is an insane super move, easily one of the best in the game. Again, just to reiterate, this move will not work with any non-stamina broken combo like that. It just doesn't work, as I'll show right here. Again, off of that knockback, the first Vanishing Ball hit, and the second one did not. Again, it will only connect like that if you are in a laggy lobby. Normally the move will only connect off of another Vanishing Ball during a stamina break. Coming in at number 5 is Steel Mirage. Now this move is actually a grab, and that's very important to note, because beforehand that right was reserved only for strike-based supers. We didn't have a single grab until now, so it took about 8 years for them to finally do it, but as you can see, the move does about 5k damage, and you can actually follow it up if you're fast enough to just hit your opponent and get them back into a combo, or you could just fire another super and hit them with it. Now, you can't use Steel Mirage into another Steel Mirage. That just does not connect. I believe it used to when the move first came out, but it no longer works that way. It will not function. Now that being said, the move will connect off of, as you see right here, an evasive. So you can use your evasive and then go straight into Steel Mirage. Now this move is, again, a grab, meaning if you hit your opponent with it, they cannot vanish out of it. Now if the connection is terrible, they actually can use their evasive. So it's like a 50-50 depending on your connection, whether this move is unvanishable. Coming in at number 4 is Psycho Barrier. Now this move is actually kind of unique. It's another input-based move. As you see, the first shield doesn't really do that much damage, a little under 600, and with 2 shields it does about 1k. And then if you do all 4 inputs, the move will actually do 4,300. Not the most damaging super move. You could definitely get more for your buck if you really wanted to. Again, that baseline is Gallic Beam Cannon. Where this move really comes into fruition is how you use it. If you go against someone that Z-vanishes a lot, as you see, it doesn't give you a turning around animation, the move will just fire, and you can fire it immediately. So if you predict what they're gonna do, you can catch someone off of a Z-vanish. Now, even more importantly, is that you can actually use this against someone that's blocking, and it will shred through their guard like paper. So if you use this correctly and get them to Z-vanish, and they go right for that block, because they're either a block spammer, or they just want to hold guard the entire time, as you can see here, it missed quite a bit and still did 2 bars of stamina, and when all 4 shields hit, it did a little over 3 bars of stamina. Meaning, if you do this against someone that just vanished, it will absorb 5 bars of stamina, which is just absolutely insane for any move. And again, it punishes those that just kind of play like cowards and just want to hold the block button the entire time. So again, really good move. Okay, coming in at number 3 is Death Beam. Now, again, I don't like to use overpowered moves, and depending on who you talk to, Death Beam is a quote-unquote meta move. You'll just never actually see anyone use it, and that's because Death Beam has so many different inputs, and its utility is very niche. It can be supplemented with any stun in the game. Most of them will do a better job than it, because this move will get false hits like crazy, and you won't have that problem with something like Candy Cannon. As you can see, you can also loop it, but the move does really low damage, and you have more end lag every time you add in another input. As you can see, you can still do your combos if you do your second one, but after the third beam, you have too much end lag to pretty much do anything. And this move's niche is that you can actually punish people who block, but the beam itself is actually slightly faster than key stuns. So if you are point blank, sadly it won't work, but a little bit farther than that, like after a clash, from close to medium range, this move will actually outspeed those little key stuns. So if you hate key stunners, this move is excellent to punish them. Now, as you can see here, even with this person blocking, as long as we're in the air, again, this works completely different if you're on the ground, you'll be able to continue to attack, which will catch your opponent off guard, because after they see that beam, they think that they can punish you, when in actuality, they can't. Now, again, you don't have to just go for the attack right afterwards. You can still side dash and all of that. The move is just great, and I don't think it's broken in any way, but that's my opinion. Coming in at number 2 is Heavenly Arrow. Now, this move is fantastic. You can do it one of two ways. The first one, as you saw right there, is to do a little bit of a slash, and then the little arrows will come out afterwards. And the next way is to just fire it plain as day. Its damage input does change depending on how many shots hit, and if you decide to do that little aura slash. Now, how I like to use this move is directly off of the Clash, or if they Z-Vanish, you can predict it, fire the move, and you will shoot those arrows. Now, if you actually have your stamina broken, you can use this move to dodge ultimates too, if you time it right. I have done this in a few of my videos. If you guys want to check them out, I'll leave it in the description. But this move is great, and the people who knew originally how to dodge it, well, they no longer play the game. So, most new players don't know how to actually dodge Heavenly Arrow, so it's gone back to its original effectiveness. And as you can see here, if you predict the vanish, you'll just leap right past them. Better yet, if you're in a laggy lobby and they vanish right in front of you, they have no way of catching you. Now, unlike some of my other moves that I showed in this, you do not have iframes when you do Heavenly Arrow. Larger characters like Namekians, or Cooler, or Brawly, if they see you go for Heavenly Arrow, they can just punch you, but the average character model cannot punish you for using Heavenly Arrow. And at number 1 is God Splitter. Now, this move has 2 inputs that you can do that can change it. The first one is you can hit B, which gives it more hits, and as you can see, despite that has 200 damage, I believe I'm 1 hit off. I believe the maximum amount of hits it can have is 18, and the regular ball just does about 8 hits, doing a total of 3,000. What's really cool about this move, though, is as you can see right there, you can change it to only doing 4 hits, or 1 hit, or 2 hits, and that's because you can cancel the move by hitting block, which is insane, because you can use this to dodge people who you know are going to either A, vanish, or more than likely, once they get hit by the move, go for an evasive skill, and you will not be able to get punished for it, because you cancel the move and can go back to being moving. But the craziness of this move does not end there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and switch back the character, the NPC to remain standing. And once I do so, you can see the true craziness of this move. Okay, and what's truly crazy about this move is that you can loop it. Now, you can't directly loop it. You have to chase them down and hit them again, as you can see. But the amount of damage you do per hit is insane. As you can see here, we actually get to Z using only 5 bars of ki. That was enough to kill him. And we did about 3k damage. That's more than some ults. So basically, if you catch someone doing this in a stamina break, you have killed them.
Thanks for watching.